This week, an oppressive and dangerous heat wave has settled over the central and eastern United States, bringing with it record-shattering temperatures long before the peak of summer typically arrives. More than 170 million Americans are currently under heat alerts, a staggering number that underscores the sheer scale of this weather event. The timing of this heat wave is particularly concerning. It's only late June, and our bodies have not yet had the chance to fully acclimate to the kind of extreme temperatures we are now experiencing. This lack of acclimatization significantly increases the risk of heat-related illnesses for everyone, making this not just uncomfortable but a serious public health concern that demands our immediate attention and caution. The numbers we are seeing are truly historic. Cities from the Midwest to the Northeast are not just breaking daily records, they are smashing them. On Monday, June 23rd, Baltimore soared to an astonishing 104 degrees Fahrenheit, while Newark, New Jersey, hit 101 degrees. Philadelphia also saw record-breaking heat at 99 degrees, and even New York City's Central Park tied a daily record of 96 degrees that has stood since 1888. These are not just statistics on a weather map, they represent dangerous conditions on the ground for millions of people. It is a stark reminder that the weather patterns we are facing are becoming more intense and arriving earlier in the season than ever before. What makes this heat wave even more perilous is the heat index, or the feels-like temperature, which accounts for both the air temperature and the humidity. When humidity is high, our sweat cannot evaporate as effectively, which is the body's primary way of cooling itself down. On Tuesday, June 24th, the heat index is forecast to reach terrifying levels: 109 degrees in Washington, D.C., 106 in Boston and Philadelphia, and 102 in New York City. These are the kinds of conditions where your body can quickly become overwhelmed, leading to serious health emergencies if you are not taking the proper precautions to stay cool and hydrated throughout the day. Another critical factor is the lack of overnight cooling. In many of the affected cities, nighttime low temperatures are remaining well above 75 degrees Fahrenheit. This is incredibly dangerous because it means our bodies, and our homes, do not get a chance to cool down and recover from the intense daytime heat. This sustained, round-the-clock heat puts a continuous strain on our systems, especially for those who do not have access to reliable air conditioning. It is this relentless, non-stop nature of the heat that makes this event so different and so much more threatening than a typical hot summer day. So, what is causing this widespread and intense heat? The culprit is a meteorological phenomenon known as a heat dome. You can think of it as a massive lid of high pressure that settles high up in the atmosphere. This high-pressure system acts like a cap on the sky, pushing down and trapping the hot, humid air near the surface. As the sun beats down day after day, the air underneath this dome gets hotter and hotter with nowhere to go. This process creates stagnant air conditions, which not only drives up temperatures but can also lead to a dangerous buildup of air pollutants and poor air quality. The strength of this particular high-pressure system is what makes this heat wave so exceptional. On Monday, June 23rd, a key measurement of this atmospheric ridge broke a record, registering as the third highest reading for any date on record. This immense strength is why the heat is so widespread and stubbornly parked over such a large portion of the country. The heat dome effectively blocks cooler, more refreshing air from moving into the region, leading to a prolonged period of dangerously hot weather. It is not just a hot spell, it is a powerful and stationary weather system that has locked extreme conditions in place for days on end. This trapped, sweltering air is what sends temperatures soaring 15 to 25 degrees above the average for this time of year. While June is expected to be warm, it is not supposed to feel like the absolute peak of August. The heat dome changes that equation entirely. It takes the normal summer warmth and amplifies it to extreme, record-breaking levels that our infrastructure and our bodies are simply not prepared to handle so early in the season. The sun's energy is essentially being recycled and intensified within this bubble of high pressure, creating a dangerous feedback loop of ever-increasing heat. The science is clear: these types of extreme weather events are becoming more frequent, more intense, and are lasting longer, a trend consistent with what we expect from a changing climate. While a heat dome is a natural weather pattern, the increasing intensity of these events is a serious cause for concern. It serves as a powerful signal that we must be prepared for a future where such prolonged and dangerous heat waves become a more common part of our summer reality. Understanding the mechanics behind the heat helps us appreciate the severity of the situation and the importance of heeding safety warnings. While extreme heat is dangerous for everyone, certain groups of people face a much higher risk of developing serious health complications. Older adults, especially those over 65, are particularly vulnerable because their bodies do not adjust to changes in temperature as quickly. They are also more likely to have chronic medical conditions or take medications that can interfere with the body's ability to regulate heat. Similarly, infants and young children are at high risk because their bodies are less efficient at cooling down. It is absolutely critical that we pay special attention to the elderly and the very young during this heat emergency. Another group at significant risk includes individuals who work outdoors. Construction workers, agricultural laborers, landscapers, and road crews are exposed to the direct sun and intense physical exertion, a combination that can quickly lead to dehydration and heat stroke. People with pre-existing health conditions such as heart disease, respiratory issues like asthma, or kidney problems are also more susceptible to the stresses that extreme heat places on the body. And we cannot forget about those who lack access to air conditioning, as they have no reliable way to find relief from the relentless, oppressive heat, especially when temperatures fail to drop overnight. It is vital to know the warning signs of heat-related illness so you can act quickly for yourself or for someone else. The early stages, often called heat exhaustion, can include symptoms like heavy sweating, muscle cramps, weakness, dizziness, headache, and nausea. If you or someone you know experiences these signs, it is crucial to move to a cooler place immediately, sip water, and loosen any tight clothing. These symptoms are your body's alarm bell, telling you that it is becoming overwhelmed by the heat and that you need to cool down right away before the situation gets worse. If heat exhaustion is not treated promptly, it can escalate to heat stroke, which is a life-threatening medical emergency. The signs of heat stroke include a very high body temperature, 103 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, hot and red skin that may be dry or damp, a fast and strong pulse, confusion, and potential loss of consciousness. If you suspect someone has heat stroke, you must call 911 immediately. This is not a condition that can be managed at home. While waiting for medical help to arrive, try to move the person to a cooler area and use whatever means you have, like cool cloths or a cool bath, to help lower their body temperature. The most important advice during this heat wave is simple. Stay inside with air conditioning as much as possible. If you do not have AC at home, please seek out a public cooling center. Many cities like Philadelphia have declared heat health emergencies and have opened these centers in libraries, community centers, and other public buildings. Avoid strenuous activities, especially during the hottest part of the day, which is typically in the afternoon. If you must go outside, try to do so in the early morning or late evening when temperatures are slightly lower. Postponing that run or that yard work is not just a suggestion, it could save your life. Hydration is absolutely key to surviving this heat. You need to drink plenty of water throughout the day, even if you do not feel thirsty. By the time you feel thirsty, your body is already starting to become dehydrated. Avoid sugary drinks, caffeine, and alcohol, as these can actually cause you to lose more body fluid. Instead, stick to water or drinks that replenish electrolytes if you have been sweating a lot. Wearing lightweight, loose-fitting, and light-colored clothing will also help your body stay cooler by allowing air to circulate and reflecting sunlight rather than absorbing it. One of the most powerful things we can do during a heat wave is to look out for one another. This is a time for community care. Please check on your relatives, friends, and neighbors, especially those who are elderly, live alone, or have chronic health conditions. A simple phone call or a quick visit can make all the difference. Make sure they are staying cool and have everything they need. Remind them to drink water and ask if they need a ride to a cooling center. Our collective vigilance can help prevent a tragedy and ensure that the most vulnerable members of our community are not forgotten. The good news is that relief is on the horizon. Forecasts show that a cold front should begin to move through the region by Thursday, June 26th, bringing temperatures back down to more seasonal and manageable levels. We can expect highs to drop to the 70s and 80s in many cities, which will feel like a world of difference. Until then, we must remain vigilant and take this heat wave seriously. By staying informed, taking proactive safety measures, and looking out for our neighbors, we can get through this dangerous period together and welcome the cooler weather that is just a few days away. Stay safe and stay cool.